friends, so one of my previous videos you saw was the upcycle project on the homeschool unit. And I discussed on that about potentially upcycling the kitchen and doing a little DIY upcycle on that when we get tile stickers and paint it and all of that jazz. But we were going to see how it went and everything. Since then we have actually unfortunately had a leak in the kitchen. So we decided to push this project up to now because the kitchen is a wreck from it. So Joel when we did this house, he did all the floors, and from where the leak is, he has had to pull up all the floors and now they're currently drying. We need to give them a really good scrub to prevent mold, and at the same time our upstand is being peeling away and there's like mold. There's a lot of stuff that's falling to pieces. There's loads of things in this kitchen that needs fixing. It is falling to pieces. I mean, the kitchen itself was a cheap kitchen, you can tell, and it's about 17 years old. So they put this kitchen in, the people before us, when they did the extension in about 2005. So it was like a single person or an old elderly couple living here beforehand. So it wasn't used, but it's just generally very old. We've been here 3 years now, cooked breakfast, lunch and dinner pretty much in this kitchen, and it's just starting to struggle. Show you around the kitchen and say what's falling to pieces, and then the plan of what we're planning on doing, and then how much things cost. So we are at the bank holiday weekend in August, so we're going to try and get as much of this done in the next few days. We have still got the kids, and generally things just take time, so we'll see how much we can manage to do. So this is what the kitchen's looking like. Obviously we've got all of the floor problems. The washing machine and dishwasher have been moved out of the way. The problem was where this was so old, water would fall behind it, and then the upstand kind of got moldy and it pulled away, and we decided, right, we just need to get rid of it. So we pulled it off this morning, and we've seen that there's like mold behind it, so we need to give that a really good scrub, and all the tiles a really good scrub, because they're just disgusting, if I'm honest. So not only that is we're going to paint the kitchen cupboards. However, if you see here, a lot of the kitchen laminate cupboards are peeling away, which is not ideal, and that's happening to quite a few of the cupboards. So that's currently happening. We've got the cabinets are peeling away, the floor Joel is redoing, and we need to sort out the oven. And we did all the maths as to what it would be if we just got a new kitchen. The problem is, in the future we would like to extend our house and get a really big kitchen dining room. That's something we'd really want. If we decide we're not going to get an extension, then we will probably invest in getting the kitchen that we want, because the thing is, we don't want laminate worktops, we'd really like quartz, and that is expensive. We really want a big range cooker. We need to get an extractor fan, because this house doesn't actually have one, which is why we get loads of grease everywhere. Oh. But what we're planning on doing is trying to do a DIY on the kitchen and only spending about £200. So I'm just looking at the floor because I probably shouldn't be standing on it while it's wet. I've ordered some Moroccan tile stickers from Amazon. I went to Wilko today and got stuff for cleaning, rubber gloves for cleaning again, more paintbrushes, and then we also got some more paint. I got the correct paint this time. So this, we're gonna match it to the unit that we painted. So this is what we've got. We've got more price. The plan is to give the kitchen a real good scrub. Joel's gonna fix the upstand. I'm gonna clean all of the kitchen cabinets and take off the little rim. I wonder if I can explain what I mean. Can you see there's like a little, I don't know if you can see that might be better. Can you see this little rim? We're gonna take them off. They're just not needed. It means we're gonna have to really scrub underneath. But we're gonna take off the rims, we're gonna give everything a scrub and hopefully get a layer of primer on today. The house is a wreck, the kids are around, there's loads to do, feeling a little bit stressed. But it's the beginning process of getting this kitchen a bit more our style. So wish me luck, and I'm sure you're gonna see all the clips of us attempting to try and figure this DIY out. first, we started with taking off all of these little bits at the bottom of the cupboards, and I was cleaning all the work surfaces while Joel was taking these off. And as soon as it comes off, you can see that I get super excited. And now this one! And now this one! My enthusiasm definitely decreases as we go along this project. And this one! Oh, we need to unscrew this as well.
What is it?
The fire alarm thing that they put above the thingy. When we moved into this house, they had a fire alarm straight above the stove that did not work. So we also need to unscrew that, and that's what Joel's doing here. But I had to make sure that all the work surfaces were scrubbed and clean. I'm also cleaning off all the mould from where the upstand was, and cleaning all the tiles ready for the stickers. Oh, I want them off.
Mine's dead.
What? I think already looks way better. Maybe not.
Glass has come off.
We can try and do a makeshift, eh?
Oh yeah. Polyfiller or something.
So under where Joel took off these bands around the bottom of the cupboards, it was disgusting because you couldn't easily clean behind it before. This is me scrubbing off all of the grease that had been building up underneath there. So while Joel is doing the floor, I'm cleaning all of this up, and as soon as I finish cleaning, we're going to take the cupboard doors off and take them into the playroom to prime them, and then the next day we will do a layer of paint. I discovered while cleaning that at the end of the cupboard near the wall, there's a little bit of wood that just blocks the gap between the cupboard and where the wall starts, and that it's such a wreck under there. I would have loved to have been able to take that plank of wood out so it looks like the cupboard isn't attached to the wall, but there's no chance I'd be able to do that because there was like loose plaster, random tiles that they had just stuck up there, and it would have just looked so much worse if I had taken it off. So I'm currently cleaning on top of the kitchen cabinets. And I don't think they've ever been cleaned because I thought they were brown on top. And in the process of cleaning and scraping them, I found that they're white. So not only do they have all of the grease from, I guess, like 20 years nearly, also when we took all of the old wallpaper off, we mustn't have taken a lot of all of the wallpaper. So there's like flakes of wallpaper in and amongst this brown, and I'll show you. Can you see? So this is where I've scraped it. And that's what it looked like before, and now I need to wipe it all. So like before and half of after. Okay, Joel is currently taking off all the doors. I'm going to take off the handles and give them a really good scrub. Then we're going to be putting a layer of primer on. So I'm going to get started on that. And you'll be seeing Joel coming in and bringing more doors. So I think reality started to sink in during this process of how long it's all actually going to take. I hadn't really thought about it beforehand. I knew it was going to take some time, but the reality of having to scrub everything, like the prep work, was something I hadn't processed until it was too late. So like the cleaning of all these doors, like these doors are old, and as I'm cleaning them, I'm realizing how dirty and how greasy they are, because when they're on the wall, there's only so much you can physically clean off them. When they're in your hands, you realize how disgusting they actually are. Hence why it's taken me so long to clean the first door. Joel ended up coming in and helping me take off the handles because the screwdriver that I had was too small. We didn't have a bigger one, so he just came in and took all them off for me while I was cleaning the cupboards. The day ended up disappearing with us a little bit. We ended up having to cook dinner, sort the kids out and get them to bed. So it is way later that evening before we ended up getting the first coat of primer on the cupboards. You can't see me, but I'm in the other part of the shot, and we are finished, like trying to get all the cupboards primed and ready to go tonight so that first thing in the morning we can start painting the actual colour on them. Luckily, while priming them, we realised that it only needed the one coat was going to be fine. So that did save us some time and a job, because we were expecting to do 2 coats, and the primer takes absolutely ages to dry, so that worked in our favour quite a lot. Here you can actually see what colour the kitchen cabinets actually looked like before. A bit more, they were kind of this dirty cream yellow colour. As soon as we started putting the primer on, we were like, whoa, it made us realise how different of a colour it is. So this is what the kitchen looked like when we went to bed that night after priming all the cupboard doors. It was a complete wreck, and it was hard to see the end in sight when it looked like this, if I'm honest. And Joel did manage to put in the upstand before we went to bed as well, as you can see here. If I'm honest, this morning was a bit of a blur. I woke up insanely early to get some painting done. We started to paint in the outside of the cabinets the colour we were going for, and while I'm doing that, Joel is also working on the floor. I actually struggled painting this because I couldn't reach a lot, so Joel ended up having to reach the areas that I couldn't, because I couldn't use the step ladder because Joel was doing the floor. And we were actually really lucky when it comes to doing the floor, because when we did the floor last summer, we actually had loads of planks left over. I think we had about 5 boxes worth left over, which was perfect. So it's exactly the same as what we already had on the floor, just a not wet, drenched, mouldy one, like type of that, luckily. But it was really annoying because as Joel's doing the floor, I'm seeing there is a slight difference in colour from where the floor that was already down was obviously used and apparently not very clean. I think I need to get a steam mop to give it a good scrub. Luckily, the next morning, the 1 layer of primer was enough, so I got to work on starting to paint the outside of the cupboards. This surprisingly took a lot longer than what I thought it was going to, because there was like an indent around the edge of the doors, and getting in there with the roller, all the paintbrush was really tricky. And then the boys would keep walking in and out of the back door, and like dust would fly in and stick to the doors, and I'd have to repaint it and try and scrape out all the dust. Honestly, I am not a patient person when it comes to DIY, which you probably saw in my last DIY video. And this just proved this to me again, that I'm not good at DIY or being patient with DIY. I'm so blessed and lucky that I had Joel helping me, because when it comes to these things, he is the most patient man in the world, and I am blessed to be married to him, honestly. We are the polar opposites, and I'm glad we work well together. We ended up very easily running out of space to paint all of these cupboards, so you can see here we've actually got all of the cupboard doors stacked on on cans, to be able to paint them, because they just kept sticking to everything. So we're currently using cans to try and prop them all up and give us an area where we can paint without ruining the kitchen as it is. One thing about this project that people don't tell you, or that I haven't heard before, is that it's really bitty. So you think you get one job done and then move to the next, but instead you're actually doing a bit of everything all at the same time. So some of the doors were all dry, so Joel's hanging them up now. We're still waiting for loads of the others to dry. And you just have to do it very bit by bit. It wasn't all able to do it all at once. So while we're waiting for the cupboards to dry, you can see here that the tiles came. We got these off Amazon. I think it was about £35 for all of the tiles that we needed. They're little tile stickers, and they were so easy to apply. You literally would just stick them on, and I think they looked great. So I was really proud, really happy with how these turned out. The hardest part from applying these tile stickers was actually deciding where they went and the pattern that they went in, because I wanted my favourite ones that you could see, and there were some that weren't as nice. So that's what we're doing here. We're desperately trying to decide where they're going to go in what order. And I'm really happy with how it did turn out, and how it did turn out in the end. ended up being crazy. We had a huge leak in the downstairs bathroom, so things got a bit delayed because we had to deal with that. But we, as you can see, Joel has done all of the tiles. We've got all the doors on, which we still need to get handles for. I think we've decided we're going to go for these 2 handles and put them around the kitchen. We're probably going to have to get, we will have to get a few more of those. But for now, we are going to try and put the work surfaces on. Are you ready, Joel?
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how this goes. Buying door handles for the cupboards, and I'm currently putting them on, so let's get that done quickly. I had already started, as you can see. DIY kitchen. We are still considering getting a new oven because this is not great, but the aesthetics parts are done. We've got new door handles, we've painted the cupboards, we've got new worktops, our lovely stick-on tiles, and for the most part we are really happy with it. Of course, it was a cheap DIY, so there's parts that maybe didn't turn out exactly how we hoped, but for how much we spent, we think it was very well worth it, and we hope this can keep us going in this kitchen for another few more years. We fixed all of the cupboards that was peeling, we've super glued it all down and sanded it and painted it, and although the cupboard colour isn't the exact colour I was aiming for, the colour didn't turn out quite right, I still think it looks way better than what it did look like, which was very dated, as in old, the kind of yellowy coloured cupboards that had gotten stained, the dark worktops. Like, I think the biggest change has been having light worktops, even though they might not be the ones we would go for if we were buying a worktop. We'd probably go for speckled granite. Just having so much more light in here seems insane. It's such an improvement. I have got all of our receipts and I am going to work out how much this all cost us for the paint, we already had the floors. So you saw that the floors had flooded, and luckily we had loads of leftover floors from when we did the house, so that hasn't really cost us any money, just time. So we already had the floors from when we did the original renovation in the house. But we had to buy the prime paint, the paint, the door handles. The door handles are probably the most expensive part. The stick-on tiles, the work surfaces, and we had to get like a few cleaning products, as well as one thing that cost a lot of money for something that you don't really notice is that upstand behind the sink. That was about £45 in itself. So I'm going to work out how much everything costed for absolutely everything that we had to buy for this project, including cleaning materials like sandpaper that we didn't end up really using. There was a few things that we've got a lot left over. So we've got leftover primer paint, we've got leftover sandpaper, leftover cleaning products, just a few things that generally will last longer than this project, but we had to get for the project. The work surfaces were £32, and the stick-on tiles were £34. The upstand was £45. Everything that I bought from Wilco, like the paint, the primer, the cleaning products, everything like that was another £45. And then the door handles. The door handles was where it got expensive. But the door handles in themselves cost £60, so they were by far the most expensive part of the project. But we really like them up close. From far away, they don't really give how lovely they are. But we probably will keep these and use them for either other projects, or if we've got a new kitchen done professionally, we might still keep them. So even when we do get rid of the kitchen, we probably will be keeping the handles for other projects. So all of that together came to £216.45. I'm really happy with how much we spent and how it turned out. Compared to, we were looking originally for getting a new kitchen, and it was going to cost us absolute minimum about £5 grand, and that was if we did everything ourselves. That's with keeping our same washing machine, dishwasher, fridge, freezers and all of that. £200, a minimum of £5 grand. I think it was definitely a good choice, because also it gave us an idea of when we do get a new kitchen, what we want it to look like. But it was all really stressful, because halfway through doing this project we had another leak in the downstairs bathroom, and with that, the downstairs bathroom is something we've been putting off doing for quite a while. We need to save up so that we can redo that room as well. It is in need of some TLC very badly. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment below of what videos you would like to see next. I'm really excited to see you in my next video. Have a great day. Bye.